Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's tell you again that the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has responded to the statement from the Office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who yesterday, through his media aide, said that the executive cannot blame the judiciary for the slow pace of justice delivery in the nation. And today, the Office of the Attorney General has responded, and in part, I quote the statement from the Attorney General. It says, "It is on the record that the Buhari-led federal government has a record of non-interference with or meddling into the affairs of the legislature and judiciary. It was within the context of these quality and feature of non-interference by the Buhari-led federal government and for the avoidance of subjudice that the minister responded that high-profile cases were presented by the federal government for prosecution, and the government came out with initiatives in its efforts to support speedy determination of justice." The Attorney General is saying he is not blaming the judiciary. Let's switch gears now, everyone, and look into partisan politics. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, may have more work, even weightier than that of the PDP, because it's the ruling party. They have more work to do in determining who becomes their party's flag bearer for the 2023 presidential election. Tonight, we're getting the views of a former national secretary of the Labour Party and one of the lawyers who defended President Buhari and the APC at the legal battle of the 2019 election, a lawyer based here in Abuja, and a public affairs commentator, Mr. Ajulo. He joins us here in our Abuja studio. Thanks so much, Mr. Ajulo, for coming tonight.
Good morning.
I'm very sure you watched Mr. Buhari yesterday on this program, and the conversations around what is up on the sleeves of the APC and the task on the table of the leadership of the party in determining those who will fly the party's ticket. If you look at some of the lists of the names of people who have come forward, the big question on the lips of everyone is getting a quality representation that will lead the APC into the arena. First and foremost, what are your thoughts on the kind of personalities that whose names have been thrown up recently?
Well, several names have been thrown up. We don't need to deny that. But one thing we should first note is the fact that APC today happen to be the ruling party. During the time of PDP, we said that's the largest political party, but as it is in Africa, that is it because it's the ruling party. And
you mean APC is the largest party?
Yes, of course.
By what? By what?
By all standards, and particularly with the.
You have an empirical facts to.
Yes, certainly. If you allow me, I will present that. But except of the time. But as it is, that is the ruling party. For you to be ruling party, the numbers and this democracy. So the numbers speak for itself. The numbers, and a PDP cannot today to say they are the largest political party to be the APC, because the question that would be is how come you are not the ruling party? I think that one really said to that. Now the issue now is whosoever that will be in the leadership of that party will get it right, because if you check where they are coming from, for the past almost 8 years now, we have a ruling party, and the essence and the full vision of the party is to ensure that they remain in power. And the first way for you to ensure that is that you have the right people in the helm of the affairs of the party. Now, to the names that have been peddled left and right, I've gone through it, and most of them, they are experienced in their own calling. You have some former governors, I can see some senators there. I can see some that even you may not see what they've done before. But what matters most and what we govern, who will rule the party now will be the members of the party. That is the leadership of the party. And from what we are seeing, particularly with that letter to the INEC, it signifies the fact that come the end of the February, they will have a new leadership. And I'm sure.
You have given legal positions, opinions about the leadership of the party vis-a-vis the judgment of court and the convention. Has your opinion changed?
Well, my opinion still stands as it is because, this legal opinion. This is not about issue of sentiment. That legal opinion stands. But again, by the time you look at
Can you reiterate what your legal opinion is
the legal
on the
opinion,
leadership of the
yeah,
APC?
the legal opinion is to the fact that as it is, the governor, that is Malabuni, who is currently being in the saddle with the leadership of the party, is to me is an anathema that should not be going by the constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria and the constitution of the party. That one still stands. But now we are talking of the convention. I belong to that school of thought that believe that conventions overrides everything, even including the constitution of the party. So if this convention can be duly constituted, and the convention can make some pronouncement and resolution, that resolution to some point can cure the what we can say the anomalies that is plaguing the party now. That is my position on that.
Well, how does the party get itself on track, considering some of the divisions? We've seen former governor in Kano and the preceding governor. Now they are looking at a sharing formula in the affairs of administration of the affairs of the party. In Osun State, there are court cases. Now they are going on appeal after the ministers lost at the High Court. They're going for appeal. In several states, there are divisions.
Yes, certainly,
Is that a danger for the party to the convention?
It is. I won't call it a danger if it's well managed. That's why, I started with the fact that going by the position of the PDP, APC, it is something that all eyes are on the party. And again, you mentioned the issue of court cases here and there. From experience, most of these court cases, the politicians, they always have a way of settling their differences, particularly when it comes to they have a bigger pictures. And I believe the bigger picture is to ensure that they have a very strong and big political party. And the best way to ensure that is every cacophony, plethora of differences need to come together and come with it. And mind you, political cases, tomorrow, whosoever that have matter in court can quickly withdraw it for the as they used to say, for the sake of the party.
Let's go into the contest of 2023 and some of the names. If you talk about the big names that have been thrown up in the APC, you talk about Bola Tinubu, you talk about Professor Yemi Osinbajo, you talk about Yaya Bello, Senator Rocha Sokorocha, and all of that. Yesterday, right where you were seated, Daniel Bwala was saying that it doesn't look like Professor Yemi Osinbajo is running. But we try to say, no, you cannot say that because he has not come forward. But, the sources in the presidency, they're saying, look, there is only one authority or the source that can give information for the VP. And when people say that the VP is going to announce after the convention, can you confirm to us?
I want to believe. Let me start with that statement from the presidency. Office of the vice president is an office on its own, and I believe that they can say whatever they feel that it is. But forgetting that whosoever that makes that statement, I'm afraid is oblivious of our constitution, of the provision of the constitution that whatever may be your aspiration, whatever may be what you think, what you express, nobody can stop anybody from aspiring. And apart from that, and wishing and aspiring that somebody should aspire again. I say this from the point that we all were entitled to our own opinion. I can come tomorrow to believe that you will be the savior of all of our nation. And if I believe in you, I will go out for you. And again, being that from the presidency, that is what it is. And that's why we need to distinguish between the office of the vice president and the personality of Yemi Osinbajo. As it is, and I repeat, I've been saying this since all these days, running from this election is not negotiable to start with.
Really?
Not only that, it is
you can say authoritatively.
I can say that authoritatively, and I think those are the presidency they are listening. It's constitutional. And I said something some days back, and I think this is the issue of law. He has that fundamental right of first refusal, particularly being the vice president of the country, in a better climate.
First refusal to the party or to the president?
To that ticket. He has that
morally
right.
Speaking or conventional wise?
Morally speaking,
convention-wise,
even when it comes to constitutionally prescribed, because there are some doctrine, there are some issues that you don't even need to negotiate about. This is somebody for the past 7 years has been in that office and performed exceedingly well. The president has talked about it. Nobody has been able to find a fault today. And if you can be vice president for so long, and what should happen? You should be the next president, and that is what it is. And I want to believe that the leadership of the party should believe that that is the position. Unfortunately, I know so many people will ask me, what about Atiku Abubakar? You know that the second time he has a lot of running battle with the president.
But he won the case up to the Supreme Court.
Yes, but
PDP
at that
against
time,
Atiku against PDP.
Yes, even it got to a point that he was even nearly being expelled. But in this case, no single issue that we can say he had with the president. That is something that is commendable. That is something that even automatic ticket, I think that's what it is. I don't think if they pay PC, if actually they are so serious in winning this election, the only person I believe without any rancor. Somebody I listened recently, someone said that one of those contesting has 14 governors rooting for him. I need to say this, at least I get in touch with most of the governors. Most of the governors in APC and PDP are even supporting the aspiration of the vice president. This is so clear. If you give me the time or maybe another
day. Is it a fact?
This is
or is conjecture?
It is not a conjecture. We all have a way where how we discuss. Forget about the other thing. You mentioned Daniel Boala some minutes ago. I'm even shocked when he was saying that when actually I need to meet him because it's someone I happen to know very, to ask him, when did you deviate from this Vice President Osinbajo project? Because he happened to be one of those even rooting for it. And if I need not to make to public some of the confidential matter. He even sometimes sat to be interviewed, to be part of those that we advocate for President Yemi Osinbajo. So the question is, at what point did he now realize it shouldn't be? And I need to address this issue again. Many people believe that the only thing they will tell you that, oh, so candidate has given me the vehicle, so party they have done, so he must be the president. Is the Nigerian presidency for sale? That is one question we should ask. Must it be that because you got me a job, that is when I will not, if I believe I can salvage this country because of the job you got for me, that is why I will not, I will believe that you will be. I must confess, let me say this, and it's very interesting. 2004, I had my wedding. One of those that have sponsored that wedding is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Even the state government was even represented in my wedding in Lagos. But I won't say because somebody seemed to be so nice to me for my wedding, I will now use that to run a grand.
So you gave a position yesterday, sure. Not because Bola Tinubu is a political leader to Professor Yemi Osinbajo, sure, that he should accord him that cultural respect. Is that valid?
It is very uncharitable for anybody to say that, particularly seeing over 200 million Nigerians because someone has been has been your benefactor because of that. That is why I raised the issue that it's Nigerian presidency for sale. Is it because somebody offered you a car? That is why you believe we must lead the country. We are talking of our future. We are talking of the future of my kid, my daughters. They will now say, "Daddy," because somebody offer you an essay because of that. No, that is not the way it should be. What should be is that who has the capacity, mental capacity, physical capacity, intellectual capacity, competence to be the president. That is one of the things we should say. Whatsoever you say about Buhari, you know that is a good leader, but we will not deceive ourselves that his health issue defines his presidency. Are we going to have the same thing? Are we going to have the same thing?
If you look at the manner in which some of the candidates have gone around, consultations here and there, but the information you get from the VP's office is, no, the VP is going to concentrate on the work of governance and all of that. But we are also reading that there seems to be some positive buzz in the presidency about those who are rooting for Yemi Osinbajo. Is that true? Can you give us a feeler of what is happening in the presidency since you are close to the Osinbajo camp?
Well, let me real. I will not. Let me be real. I'm not working at that villa. I've not
No, but
worked in
you are
academia
close
to start with.
to the Osinbajo team.
But one thing that is so certain is that Yemi Osinbajo, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, will run for this election and will win.
You can tell us
that one is
authoritatively.
so clear to authoritatively. And again, I think
So
we need to give it to him.
Why does he have a team yet? Like we see Okorocha, he has a team.
As I speak today, as I speak this evening, over 163 groups are working to actualize this dream. I'm being sincere. I represent some. I mean, nothing less than about 6 to 7 group of such group that are rooting for it. Sometimes ago, most of the statement made by progressive lawyers, even lawyers, juries, senior advocate, everybody coming together to form progressive lawyers for Yemi Osinbajo because it's one of our own. Sometimes you see professionals for Yemi Osinbajo from the northeast, for virtually everywhere. In Kano, you see what happened. Everybody in Kano, they came together. In Akure, in Lagos, everywhere. You know, the issue is this, and we should understand some of them, most of those who are contesting, who are rooting, most of them are jobless. They have nothing to do. So they have the latitude, they have all every luxury to jump up and down to be saying this. But mind you, this Osinbajo is having dual role here as a vice president who is saddled with a lot of responsibility. Last week, you can see he's in the attending one ECOWAS or AU meeting. On another breath, you saw him in Lagos attending the Shonekon burial. The next day, you see in Kano. With all this, you still want him to go on, and that one should show you the personality.
Is there a constitutional barrier or a legal drawback for a sitting elected member not to be able to come out early enough?
No, it depends on the personality of who is holding the office. This is someone that believes that I still have a job to perform, and I have.
So he's being cautious.
Of course, cautious.
For the office that
not only cautious again to know that there is responsibility that must be settled. There are some jobs that must be performed. Now coming out, you know, many things will immediately Yemi Osinbajo will declare his intention. You know, the equation will change. So the best thing to do is face the job that is being elected to do. Is like what the Queen would say, mentioned when he was celebrating his anniversary recently. He said, "What I swear and know to do, I will serve and I will be loyal to the people of the United Kingdom." And that is the position of Yemi Osinbajo as it today. I'm the vice president, being saddled with the job, not a vice president that is raising newspaper like some other vice president. Vice president that is every day up and doing, going everywhere to ensure that Nigeria move forward. And again, to now be running for president, to me, I will be one of those that will raise it. So as it is, he's focused on in his delivery to the Nigerian.
But for those who have been going around and making consultation, they are covering a lot of grounds. Politically, you know what this means.
Yes, sure.
Is that not a negative for the VP if he eventually comes out?
No, it is.
Because these guys have covered grounds.
No, let me tell you something. We are talking of issue of passion. We are talking of those that believes in him. There are some, like as I sit here, you see us talking about who wants Yemi Osinbajo to be because of a conviction. Conviction and passion is different from when one is being sponsored. I listened to what the media said. Most of it is maybe sponsors, speculators. Maybe I'm sure he has some people in mind. But those you see today are those genuinely. You see the organic, the way they are going all out to ensure that this is what is. I quite appreciate one of the fears of maybe the likes of Boala, that this is the right time, because somebody told me that this thing is likened to playing football. That some players wanted to be signed on immediately so that they will know which club to believe. And again, you can't liken this process to a game of football. This for some people are so convinced. You need to see the numbers of people calling, putting money.
Same way. I mean, that's a very common language in politics. That people are calling. I can stand Sean Kimbaloye for president.
Yes, sure.
My people are saying that I should come out. That's the common language for in politics. My people say I should come out, yes, and that's the reason why a lot of people come out. But on a final note, Mr. Ajulo, tonight is a challenge before the APC to retain power. The PDP has thrown up that challenge and said, look, we're going to the field and we're telling Nigerians that we want to rebuild and retake power from the APC. You are talking about Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Can the APC be able to stand in that election in 2023 and tell Nigerians that they want a renewal of in government considering the situation of the country and the promises that have been made?
Unfortunately, the APC cannot stand. Unfortunately, the PDP cannot stand. The truth of the matter is this. Look at the personality of Professor Yemi Osinbajo. I challenge, both in the PDP and APC, anybody that can stand shoulder to shoulder, competence to competence, credibility to credibility, professionalism to professionalism, in whatsoever way, earthwise. I think you need to bring someone and compare it to Yemi Osinbajo.
What about the primary of the APC? The likes of Bola Tinubu, the likes of Okorocha. When they go to the primaries,
you don't compare original to let me I don't want to use I'm on national TV. I don't want to use palatable, but the difference is clear. I think that's another thing we have to know.
Look at them. Look at the names, the faces.
Bring all their faces and let us ask what have they done. These are the issues. Are we talking of the issue of age? Mind you, and again, one thing that matters most in this election will be the trust of the people. Mind you, NSAS youth, they are somewhere waiting. Is the issue of trust. Among all those faces, who do you believe you can trust? And right. That is a sense of representation.
We need to go now because we are totally out of time. But I must sincerely thank you, Mr. Ajulo, for coming on tonight. APC has a lot of work to do in terms of party administration and, of course, getting a candidate as the weeks and months draw closer to the election. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Well, that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Kimali. Bye for now.